What is going on, guys? I'm back with another video, and this time I'm here to talk about how to beat art block again. Now this one is kind of a culmination of a few other things. So I've talked about original characters, I've talked about trying different styles. Now this is those two things together with some extra stuff. Now it's very important, if you kind of are a guy who likes storylines, if you're a guy that likes kind of like what's very popular right now, comic books and stuff like that, why not try and make a comic book, or make some comic book pages, or make comic strips? You know, you don't have to make full stories, but you can make a few pages that tell some kind of a sequential story. You know, maybe some characters sat somewhere, maybe you change the heads and stuff like that, maybe you make it very simple, maybe, you know, but maybe you do full-blown, you know, comic book pages. Maybe you go to a point of saying, okay, I'm going to challenge myself and making a full-on web comic. You know, it really depends on what it is that you want to do, right? Now, the reason I say this will help you with your art block is because you might really be in a place where you're tired of just drawing stuff. You know, you're tired of drawing characters in just an empty space, or I'm tired of character design, I'm tired of just all these things. And maybe you've got some original characters already, or maybe there's some characters that you like. Maybe you want to do a comic about characters that already exist, for example, like the Justice League or the Avengers, and you think, oh, I'd like to do a comic where they just, you know, they have a day going fishing or something like that. Or maybe you want to do a fight that you've never seen, or maybe you want to do, you know, romance stuff, like a lot of people like to do two characters. They call it shipping, I think, when you have two characters kind of shipped together. And, you know, maybe you want to do something like that, and a bunch of people do, right? And I think this is a fantastic way to help yourself get over the hump, in terms of help yourself get over the block, you know, of what art can sometimes do. Because I think sometimes, and I've said this multiple times, and the more I say it out loud, the more I think about what art block is. And everyone I know that's had art block, as I said, I've said this in, you know, multiple videos, and if you watch my channel, you'll know I've said this a few times, especially with this art block series. I think for the most part, what art block is just when you're consistently doing something very similar. You're consistently drawing environments, or you're consistently drawing characters. And I don't think environments can get boring personally, but I don't know, because I haven't drawn that many environments for an extended period of time for that long. I always mix it in with some characters and some other stuff, and you know, but same time, if you're kind of just doing the same style of work for an extended period of time, you know, especially if it's, you're always streamlining your process the same way. If you're always doing a sketch, then inks, then colors, it can get very, very tiresome, and your brain can get used to the process of always working the same way. So that's why I'm making these videos, because I want to express the fact that you can change the way you work to enable you to work better. It'll up your productivity and your happiness, because you're changing the way you work. You're also learning new skills. And then when you approach an image, you're approaching an image from a different angle. You're approaching an image in a, how would I tackle this particular painting, instead of, okay, I have to do my same technique again, right? And it all comes down to different styles, and it all comes down to different formulas for what it is you're trying to do, right? I look at doing a comic book page very differently to how I look at doing an environment or concept art piece. You know, I look at cartoon character drawing very differently to how I draw anime, or very differently to how I draw kind of in my own style, which is very comic booky, right? So that's how I'm really kind of looking at this whole art block situation, is that we need to diversify. Because for me, someone that hasn't had art block, it comes down to the diversity of what I've tried to be creating for the longest period of time. You know, I've always tried to do a few different things instead of just one thing. But to be honest, the harsh thing about that is, in the real world, people hire you for your one thing, but they hire you for your one thing you do exceptionally well. And if you're an artist at a high level, you can pretty much do any of these things exceptionally well. You just have to understand that that's how you operate. But anyway, guys, that's all I've really got to say in this video. It's just a brief kind of summary of overall things that I think can help. And I think people need to look at this stuff and really take it in, because beating art block isn't as hard as we think. We just have to think about how and what it is that we want to do versus what we're actually doing, and why we're blocking ourselves. Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, it helps me get off the ground. Share if you want to, that always helps too. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Beat art block.